I need. Good morning. Hi, greetings and happy homecoming. Yes. My name is Linda Hart-Patton, class of '88, the great '88, and I serve as Director of Alumni Operations in the Office of Alumni Engagement. It is a pleasure to greet each and every one of you as we continue the homecoming spirit with this, our homecoming convocation. Thank you to our students, all of our beautiful students. We're going to do a call out, so please get excited. First years in the class of 2028, our first years. All right. How about our sophomores, class of 2027? Yes, yes. And our juniors, class of 2026? Okay. And then finally, do we have any graduating seniors from the class of 2025? Yes, it is certainly homecoming. And welcome to all of our alumni. So this morning we are honored to have our Diamond Daughters, first of all, who have graduated 51 years or more, and of course our Golden Girls from the class of '75, and we call them our Jewels. So Jewels, please stand. Yes, all of our beautiful Jewels. And we are also joined by our many faculty and staff that are here. They're working, they're in the back, they're all around. Our homecoming activities for the alumni schedule is actually planned through the Division of Institutional Advancement. So many of my division mates are here. One particular person, as well, and we're led by our Senior Vice President, Selena Jegede, class of 2003. They are all out working as we're speaking right now. And there's one, the hardest woman in show business here is Tasha Terry. She is the Alumni Programs Manager that actually is our lead for our homecoming activities. So we thank them very much. And I really don't want to go any further without acknowledging, in the true Spelman sisterhood, please continue to keep Dr. Helene D. Gale and her husband, Stephen Keith, and their family in our hearts and prayers. And also, I know that we don't have many and they may come in later, but we do have a Board of Trustee meeting that's taking place right now, so many of our senior team members are out and about. But we do want to send out and shout out to our interim president, Roz Brewer, class of 1984. In institutional advancement, our theme this year is Spelman, Thy Noble Work Continues. And we're using that spirit to guide us through homecoming. We are blessed to have a homecoming sponsor that not only believes in our theme, but models the spirit within their own organization, as evidenced by the number of Spelman alumni that hold pivotal roles within their staff roster, and their extremely wonderful commitment to the Morgan Stanley HBCU scholars. And many of those scholars are here with us. So would they please stand so we can acknowledge them? As well as our Morgan Stanley representatives that are here today. Thank you. So at this point, it goes without saying, we are proud to partner with Morgan Stanley, and we thank them immensely for all that they do to strengthen our legacy. So at this moment, please pay attention to the screen to view their video. Following their video, the next voices you will hear are that of our Morgan Stanley representatives and our Spelman sisters, Alita Wingfield, class of '94, and Kenita K.C. Copeland, class of '97. Thank you.
Good morning. We bring you greetings from Morgan Stanley, who is a proud sponsor of Spelman Homecoming this year and a proud supporter of HBCUs, because we believe in the talent that HBCUs produce, and especially this fine school. We remain undaunted by the Supreme Court decisions that seek to limit access and opportunities, and we have doubled down on our efforts to create a fair and inclusive work environment. And that includes our relationship and our wonderful relationship with Spelman. In other words, thy noble work continues. It's an honor to stand before you today as two proud alumni of Spelman, an honor made more special by virtue of the fact that it's here in this iconic place, Sisters Chapel. My name is Alita Wingfield. I'm from the class we all adore, 1994. I am a managing director and the head of talent in the Legal and Compliance Division, and I have the unique distinction of being the first Black woman ever promoted to managing director in the Legal and Compliance Division.
That's my sister.
It's an accomplishment I truly credit with what I learned here in the halls of Spelman campus. So I also co-chair our firm's Black Employee Network. It's a network of over 3,000 people who are focused on programs and initiatives and focused on fostering a sense of belonging and inclusion, and in the Black community at Morgan Stanley.
My name is K.C. Copeland. I am from the notorious class of 1997. I'm an executive director in wealth management digital marketing, and I'm also the co-chair of a proud employee network group called the Multicultural Employee Network Group.
And I'm proud to say more than ever, our firm's commitment to diversity and inclusion is unwavering. We're focused on recruiting more people that look like us, and we want you guys to apply to our summer programs. We have an early insights program that's for freshmen and sophomore with an opportunity to interview for our summer analyst programs. The applications are open now, so apply now, apply early, and more opportunities come as a result of that. But it's an opportunity for you to see our firm and the culture of our firm. Today, I want to talk to you just briefly about our HBCU Scholars Program, which provides full tuition scholarships currently to 59 scholars across Spelman, Morehouse, and Howard. Just as important, we're exposing these wonderful young ladies to leaders of our firm, exposing our network, providing them access to resources, and there's no more important job that I'm doing and no more important work than giving back in this way. Thy noble work continues. I know our scholars are here today. We have not asked our scholars to be bankers or financial analysts. We'd love for them to do that, but many of our scholars will be doctors, lawyers, teachers, and trust me, we have resources in all of those areas to share with them, and we have. This year, our first class of scholars will be graduating, so I want to give them a shout out. And not only will they be graduating, they'll be graduating debt-free. So we're really, really proud about that. Overall, our programs provide students with a view into all that Morgan Stanley has to offer, including a feeling for our amazing culture. And as co-chair of the firm's Black Employee Network, as a managing director and a partner of our firm, I could not be more excited to be a part of the vision of the firm and to personally serve our community, something I learned from Spelman over 30 years ago. Thy noble work continues.
Indeed. As a leader mentioned, it is indeed an honor to stand before you again in solidarity in the goodness and the good vibes that only a Spelman Homecoming can bring. It is all the Black girl magic summoned together and gathered and lifted to bring us here today. As we gather again at the #1 HBCU, 18 years running, I take a moment to reflect on all the best things a homecoming can be. It is a revival, it is a renewal, and a sure reminder of how good home can be. Now, home can be taken for granted sometimes, but as you leave Spelman gates and return, you too will be reminded that thy noble work continues. But nevertheless, be present in this moment. Don't miss out on today. Today's fun, today's memories, and today's opportunities. Opportunities like connecting with the best bank on Wall Street for Black professionals. Yes, I said that. That is Morgan Stanley. It has been a home for many, like Alita, Nina Gear, Andrea Tolliver, Monica Gordon, Adia Hayes, and my beloved classmate, Ayana Don, and me, to build careers, to find one another, and to build communities. Indeed, we are a proud and growing HBCU community within, as seen on our video. At Morgan Stanley, our community is doing much of what we do at Spelman. We support, encourage, and advocate for each other. We build and grow together and have extraordinary impact in our local communities. As leaders and innovators, we are in search for the best minds and the best talent, so we know we're in the right place. So please come by and see us tomorrow during Market Friday to learn more about our culture and our many opportunities. We'll have the hottest lunch token available for those who engage with us, enjoy our photo booth, and scan our QR code. Morgan Stanley is proud, Morgan Stanley is present, Morgan Stanley is on the yard. Happy homecoming. Thank you.
Greetings to my Spelman family and happy homecoming. My name is Destiny Blash. I am a graduating senior. sociology major on the pre-law track from Jonesboro, Georgia. I have the pleasure of serving as the co-founder and president of the Spelman Sports and Entertainment Collective. In our first year, we are focused on providing Spelman students exposure to careers in sports and entertainment. I am beyond excited and truly honored to introduce our keynote speaker today. She is a dynamic attorney, law professor, director of the Center for Entertainment, Sports, and Intellectual Property Law at Georgia State University College of Law, the commissioner-elect for Fulton County District 4, a proud Spelman alumna, mother, wife, and so much more. Mo Ivory's career is nothing short of inspiring, spanning law, politics, and media. You might recognize her voice from V103, or perhaps you've seen her insightful commentary on CNN or Fox 5. Beyond her incredible professional achievements, Ms. Ivory is deeply passionate about community service, leading efforts in education, healthcare, and voting rights. She also leads her own consulting firm, Ivory Consulting LLC, offering guidance in law, politics, and business strategy. Ms. Ivory is a dedicated member of several organizations and an advocate for empowering others. So without further ado, please join me in giving a warm and sisterly welcome to our keynote speaker, Ms. Mo Ivory.
Good morning, good afternoon. I think it is afternoon, past 11. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and hello, my Spelman sisters. I think some of my line sisters are out. Hello. My daughter is here, Janie Ivory, and my son, Christian Martin, so I'm just so excited to be here.
Yes, I am so excited you are here as well. Starting off, having grown up in the Bronx, could you share with us a bit about your upbringing and the path that led you to Spelman College?
For sure. So I am a 1991 Spelman grad, and I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and I came to Spelman because my oldest sister was at Spelman, and I actually came here kicking and screaming. I wanted to stay in New York, and I'm very much a New York hometown girl and thought I would always live there. And you can imagine in 1987, Atlanta was not the place that it is now. So I really ended up coming here because my mother thought that I should be in the same place that my sister was. So I got here, and Dr. Cole was beginning. I am in the first graduating class of Dr. Cole, and so she was beginning her presidency. That really helped my transition very much, but it took several years for me to really begin to embrace Atlanta and to embrace that this was going to be where I was and make the very best of it. But I think that things have changed so much since that time period that now Atlanta is a destination place to come to college, and it was not that back then, but thankfully I made that decision. That was the best decision I ever made and changed my life forever.
We are glad you made that decision as well. Tell us a little bit more about your journey at Spelman, and how did your experiences here really shape your career and the leader who you are today?
Yeah, so, I came from a single, my mother was a single mother, and my sister and I were both at Spelman at the same time, and she could not afford for both of us to be here, so we had student loans. I came here and I started working immediately when I got to school, and if I could do that differently now, I would have definitely changed that. I think when you come to college, you need to be able to come to college and really experience college without worrying about so many of the financial hardships, even though that's not the case for everybody. But when I look back on that, I wish that I would have had that opportunity. But I came to Spelman and I was ready to get going. Oh, and by the way, my Spelman student loans, which had accumulated to $90,000, were completely forgiven by the Biden administration. So thank God.
Good.
Yes. And you think so many years later, how could you still have those loans? But they were $40,000, and then they doubled because of interest and all of that. And I had just really, in my mind, decided I would die with those loans. And then here came that letter. So if anybody needs to tell somebody what somebody has done, you can use me as an example. I am one of those people that got their student loans forgiven. So I came to Spelman, and I just began to embrace the opportunities. I was a political science major. I just saw Dr. Marilyn Davis Davis the other day. She was my political science professor. I recently was cleaning out my garage and found my senior thesis, which was on the beginning rise of black mayors. There were only 2 at the time. And I got an A on that thesis, by the way. But I told Dr. Davis that I found that paper, and I was so excited to have found that paper. But I, like many students, did not really know what I wanted to do. I picked a major that I thought would be good for me. People always said in my life that I was a good talker, so I thought maybe one day I would go to law school. I didn't know that for sure, but I picked political science because I didn't really know what else to pick. You come to college and you're sort of like, people are like, what's your major gonna be or whatever. I don't know how you're supposed to know at 18 what your major is gonna be. That's a very big question for somebody at that age to answer when they don't really know what the whole world has for them out there. And that's what causes students to end up changing their major, once they've been in their major, and then they end up prolonging their collegiate experience because they just don't really know what to choose as a major. So I was a poli-sci major because I was worried about finances. I rushed through college and I finished in 3 years, thinking I could save my mom a year of tuition. So I had a year to work before I went off to law school, which also was something that I did because sort of it was expected of me. It seemed like the next best thing to do. I'm not sure today, even though being a lawyer has worked out for me rather well, that I wouldn't necessarily done the same thing again in hindsight, because I think there's so many things you can do in your life. And so I went out in my life to start to do all the things that I wanted to do without any restrictions on what my degree was and what my skill set was. I think I started to believe that I could craft whatever life I wanted to have for myself, and I just went about trying to do that.
Absolutely.
It's important to note, when I was in New York, I always loved music. I grew up in the era of hip-hop development in the Bronx, and by the time I came to college, a lot of my friends were getting into the industry. So when I came to Atlanta, I started interning at a record company called Virgin Records. It was very, very new. And the biggest star on that, I know you will not even know who this person is, but her name was Paula Abdul. And I know this side. I feel like there's some people over here who know. Her name was Paula Abdul, and a group called EU. They have the song Doing the Butt. Okay, so I was like the promotions person for them or whatever, and I would ride around with them, and I would pick them up from the airport when they would come to Atlanta to do radio stations, and this was a time when you could actually ride up to the gate, like where the planes were. And so I did all of that, and I did that for 3 years straight, and I just knew when I graduated from college I was going to work at a record company, and I was just going to come out and go work at a record company. I interned for all 3 years that I was in college, and even the 4th year while I was working in Atlanta. And Virgin Records offered me a job when I was done with college. I remember it was in 1991, it was $60,000, and I was like, I got it made. I'm good. I don't need anything else. I got this $60,000 job. I'm going to go to New York. It was in New York, and it was like my dream, everything. And all of my mentors told me that they didn't think I should take that job, that I should instead go to law school because they thought I was capable enough to go to law school, and that the industry, the music industry, was very biased towards women, and there wasn't a lot of stability, and they didn't want me to get caught up in that kind of thing. So I listened, and I went to law school, and they encouraged me to be an entertainment lawyer. And so that's what I went on to do, to be an entertainment lawyer. But I would lie to say that I don't think about what would have happened if I would have taken that job. Like over the years, as I've seen people become presidents of this record company and head of a network and all that, I wonder if that would have been something that I would have been able to navigate and maneuver in my life. But you don't look back, you just keep on moving forward, and you are proud of the things that you have been able to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's important to have experiences, internships, and even work in college, but not in lieu of experiencing college and having the experience that you need to get, especially here at Spelman, being here and being involved in all of the activities and things.
It's a special 4 years for sure.
It is.
So you mentioned a little bit about going to law school, but also kind of working in the entertainment space undergrad while you were here at Spelman. Can you talk a little bit more about the transition from law back into media and entertainment, and what insights can you share about navigating change and really embracing, these transitional periods?
Yeah, so I came out of law school and I was lucky enough to make enough contacts to go straight into working as an entertainment lawyer, which is pretty rare. When you come out of law school, you normally have to do a couple of years in general law practice, and I was able to come into a large law firm that also had an entertainment practice. So right away, I was working on, back then, a group called The Roots, who were just a little band that had a real international following, but not so much domestically. There were some artists, some young artists named Jill Scott and folks like that in Philadelphia, and I was working on some of their stuff, whatever. And a partner of mine had a girlfriend who worked as an anchor on the television station in Philadelphia called KYW. Any Philadelphians in here? Okay, awesome. So KYW. And they were buying a radio station. And so she came to me and she said, would you ever want to start a radio show with me? And I was like, what? And she said, it'd be like the two of us just talking back and forth. And I said to myself, like, okay, I'll try that. And, this is the idea of like trying anything. Even if you think you could do it or not, like you should just try to do it. Because right now, any of you who want to be on the radio can start a radio station right now tonight when you go back to your dorm or when you go back to your apartment. Because nowadays, you don't need anybody to hire you to be on the radio. You can start a podcast, whatever, like overnight. But I said, sure. So we went, we interviewed. We did a little radio thing. We interviewed. That was on a Tuesday. On Thursday, they made us an offer. And the offer was more than I was making as a lawyer. So I said, yes. I negotiated that agreement myself. I negotiated to still stay at the law firm part-time, so I was able to do the radio show and practice law at the same time, and that was my entree into media. And so after a while, the radio job got more intricate and it required more of my time, so I let the law job go, and I ended up going back into radio. After I was in radio for about 2 or 3 years, I got married, I had my daughter, and the lifestyle just did not match up with, being married and having a small child, because I would have to be at the radio station very early. So luckily, I had a law degree, so I was able to just go back into practicing law, which was what I did. And when my daughter got older, then I was able to go back into radio again. So I was able to like jump in and out of different fields and very easily be able to take advantage of both of those things. But those are the same skill sets. Same skill sets that I used to be a lawyer, talking, communicating, writing, preparing. Same skill sets that I used on the radio, talking, writing, preparing, communicating. So while it seems like two completely different industries, and it's the same skill set. And that's the same skill set that took me on television. So one day I was on the radio, somebody heard me on the radio, they were like, would you like to do some television stuff? I started being a guest correspondent on CNN, on MSNBC, and then I was a television correspondent. Same skill set. So you can easily maneuver through all these different things and end up in different industries by having a very strong skill set in the things that you do. And, being reliable, being somebody that people can count on to show up, being presentable, having all of the things that people want to see when they want to hire you to do something.
Absolutely. I think it's very, excuse me, very, for us as students, very important to hear that you can do different things and you can try and embrace the change. It's really important to grow in those transitional periods. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about that. So just to transition a little bit, so you're the newly elected commissioner-elect for Fulton County District 4. Yes, let's clap. Congrats. So in this role, can you share a little bit more about your journey into politics? I know you mentioned, law and media, but just your journey into politics and advocacy work that you're passionate about. And then also with the major election going on, how do you emphasize the importance of voting and utilizing your role to make an impact?
So I was doing radio. We're now in about the year, say like 2014. I'm in Washington, D.C. on a radio show and I am during the Obama administration, which was wonderful. I'm talking on the radio about something, and I get a phone call from the dean at Howard Law School, who asked me if I would like to teach entertainment law at Howard Law School. So I said, sure, I would. I've never taught before, but I'm thinking like it can't be that difficult. And so I would love to do that. So I start teaching entertainment law at Howard Law School. And then I'm doing that for about 2 years or so, and I get fired from the radio station. Yeah, I was like, oh, radio is that kind of thing. You get fired all the time. But luckily, I was a lawyer when I negotiated my agreement, so it worked out just fine. And those are the things that are important to make sure that you're always taking care of your business whenever you're in a situation, because then you don't have to worry about when there's a bad day that comes, right? So I could decide what I was going to do next. So I came back to Atlanta, and I realized that the woman who had been representing my area, my neighborhood, was greatly gentrifying, and I saw a lot of things that I did not like. And the woman who had been in position had been there for 16 years and did very, very little for our community. So I decided to run against her. I lost that race. That was in 2017. Right after that race was over, I got a phone call from our Spelman sister, Stacey Abrams, who said, Mo, I knew Stacey. She said, Mo, this is where having a varied background really comes in. She said, I'm getting a lot of phone calls from celebrities for my campaign, and I don't really know what to do with them. Can you just come and handle the celebrities? And that comes from me being on the radio, being an entertainment lawyer, being on television, and knowing a lot of these people already. So I said, sure. So I came to work on Stacey's campaign in 2018, handling all of the celebrity engagement and all of that kind of stuff, right? So she did not win in 2018. So after that, I had to figure out, like what I was going to do next. I had lost the race, and I was at a course that I needed to take to make sure my bar license was going to stay intact. And I met a white woman who was sitting next to me who was there for the same thing. She said, I'm here trying to, keep my bar license up as well. At the end of the conversation, we had never introduced ourselves. I said, oh, by the way, what's your name? And she said, Wendy. And I said, well, I'm Mo. And she goes, well, Mo, what do you do? And I said, well, I just finished teaching at Howard Law. I'm kind of in between things right now. I just got off the Stacey Abrams campaign. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next. And she goes, well, would you ever want to teach again? And I said, well, maybe I would want to teach again. And she goes, oh, because I just became the dean of Georgia State Law School. And she said, and I'm looking for somebody to start an entertainment program. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that seems timely. And I said, well, I'm not looking to be, and here's where you have to ask for what you want. I'm not looking for an adjunct professor position. I need a faculty position. And so if you're interested in making me a member of your faculty, I can start a sports and entertainment program for you that I think you would really like, and it would be a great thing to bring here. Now, I never have started a sports and entertainment program before, but if you can talk the talk, like you can walk into anywhere, right?
Good.
So, so that's what I told her. So the next couple of days, she talked to me or whatever. We made a deal. I started at Georgia State in 2018 doing that. I never thought I would ever run again. It's now so many years later. I've been doing this program. It's now become renowned. It's been in every publication you can imagine for the celebrity courses that I do. And somebody came to me and asked me if I would run for office again. This was this past March, and I said, no, thank you. I wasn't interested in it. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of your family, and it's a difficult thing. It's a lot of fundraising, and it's a lot of time. And thank God for Spelman students who have always helped me on both of my campaigns. But after I said no, the group that wanted me to run asked me again, would you please run? And I had a meeting. I asked for what I needed. I said, I will run if I can have these certain things, which I didn't know to ask for the last time. So I asked for them this time, and they said yes. And that was a certain amount of infrastructure that would be in place to make it easier for me to run. And when they said yes, that they would provide that, I said I would do it. So that was in the first week of March. By the second week of March, we had an entire campaign put together, pulled out the box in the basement that said 2017 on it, and dug through it or figured out everybody that I needed to recall to make it happen. We raised some money and we got going, and I won my Democratic primary. I have no opponent, and my name is on the ballot right now, and I will win on November 5th. So what am I responsible for? Everybody should know that you're Fulton County Commissioner. Fulton County is the largest county in Georgia. 15 cities sit inside of Fulton County. including the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta has about a $750 million budget. Fulton County has about a $1 billion budget, and then the state has their budget. We're responsible for health care, so that means finding a hospital to replace Atlanta Medical Center. We're responsible for the jail, making sure people stop dying in the jail and repairing that jail, and so many other things. Taxes, the continued rise in taxes on older people and the way the development is going and happening so fast. So these are all challenges that I'll be dealing with coming in January.
We are so excited and so proud to call you our Spelman sister, but also our Fulton County commission.
Oh, and this is my district.
Yes.
So I'm so happy about that.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you all go vote and
Yes.
see Ms. Mel on the ballot as well. Lastly, looking back on your journey, so you discussed media, law, politics, etc. What advice would you give to your younger self, and what message would you share with the next generation of leaders as we prepare to step into our own paths and embark on our own journeys?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to say this to y'all, to the current Spelman students. I want to tell you to relax. I want to tell you to take the pressure off. It is too much to try to figure out your entire life in 4 years. And nobody is expecting you to, except for you. Everybody understands that this is an exploration 4 years. This is to find out so many things: what you're interested in, what you like, what you don't like, what you think you might want to do, for the person who has already decided, I'm gonna be a philosophy professor someday, or I'm going to be a chemist, or that is fantastic. You are in the minority. You have clutched on to something that you want to pursue, and you're going to go full steam ahead and pursue it. But for everybody else, which is the 95% of us, it was me, it was all my friends, my line sisters, everybody. Like it is okay to graduate out of these doors and still be trying to figure it out. And to go into the world and explore, and to say to your parents, like, I don't know what I want to be yet. I know you sent me here. I know it was all that money. It was worth it. I'm another person 4 years later. You're not the same person you were at 18 that you are going to be at 22 or whatever age you are when you came here. But I think it's so stressful to imagine that you should have this all figured out in 4 years. So I just want to say, like, relax, take some time away from social media so that you can stop comparing the fake life on social media that doesn't really exist to your own, because it's not real. It's not real. Even the celebrity social media is not real. It's borrowed, it's leased, it's held for a short time. It's not exclusive. It's one day one brand, next day the other brand. A spokesperson could tell you to drink Dasani water, and little do you know behind the scenes that the Dasani has broken that person out all over their face. And you'll never know that, because for that 5-second clip, that 30-second clip that you're seeing, they're done up into a beautiful presence for you to believe that you too should drink that water. Or whatever it is, a makeup brand, a clothing brand, or whatever. You really have to dig deep to find out what you want for your own life, and to really, really take the pressure off of yourselves. It is not worth it to go through this experience at Spelman stressed out and depressed the entire time. Yeah. So while I want to motivate you to be the best you can be, you're already here. So you've already risen to a certain level being here. But I also want to tell you to give yourself grace and to enjoy this experience and not go through it completely stressed out about what you're not doing, or what you're not accomplishing, or what somebody else in your dorm is getting, or how you're not getting that internship. Everything that is meant for you will happen. And let me tell you that one of the most likely to succeed women in my class did not become the most successful person in my class. Many of the women that were hanging out and, pledged and had a, just getting by GPA or a okay GPA are doing fabulous things today, and are the very people, yes, and are the very people that are hiring some of our classmates who need jobs. So look a little bit into the future, see yourself, away from this environment, excelling and taking everything from this environment with you as a part of your experience, not your whole experience. Spelman is a part of your experience. And when you get it out into the world after you graduate, you'll look back on this experience so fondly, but you're gonna have so many more experiences. This is not the end all be all. This is just the beginning of it. So I just want you to take a little bit of the pressure off of yourselves of performance and of figuring it out. That's what I want you to know.
Let's clap for Ms. Mo.
I also wanted to tell you guys one thing. I teach a class at Georgia State Law School called The Legal Life of. It's a series where I bring a celebrity into the classroom and we study their career through the legal agreements that they signed along the way. I started that in 2018. In 2019, I launched it with The Legal Life of Ludacris. Then I did, after that, The Legal Life of Candy Burris, then Steve Harvey, then Rick Ross. Then I did The Legal Life of the Olympic Games last spring, and I took my whole class to Paris for the Olympics. I don't know if anybody saw that in the news, but yep, I surprised the class and took them to Paris. That was amazing. And this semester, I'm doing The Legal Life of Issa Rae. And yes, and because I love Spelman so much, I am going to bring a 2-week workshop on the legal life of Issa Rae to Spelman.
Yes.
Yep. And that is going to be starting next Wednesday. So I just wanted to give everybody that's here a little heads up on it, that if I will be putting on my Instagram the link, it's going to start next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Then we're going to go to the following Wednesday, which is November 6th at 6 o'clock. And then anybody that comes and joins that, it's totally free, you just come. Anybody who comes to those 2 classes is going to be invited to an evening with me and Issa on November 7th. And she'll be coming to Atlanta in person at the Rialto Theater on November 7th. So just go to my IG, it's Mo Ivory Show. It's MOIVORY, my last name, Show. I have on a pink dress. And just follow me there, and you should see the announcement with the link later on this afternoon.
I will be there next Wednesday. Hope to see you all.
We're going to go through her insecure agreement, and we'll talk about the business and legalities. I have her actual agreements. So we'll go through some of her, we'll start with insecure, and then we'll go through some of her brand deals, CoverGirl, her Prosecco, some Sienna Naturals is a hair care line that she has, and by the time you come out of it, you'll understand just how magnificent she handles her business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that and giving us a little heads up. So make sure you go to her Instagram and register so that you all can attend next Wednesday. I think as a graduating senior, giving yourself grace, that was something that I definitely needed to hear. I don't know if you all need to hear that as well, but I think it's just very reassuring that you don't have to have it all figured out. Graduation butterflies, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's next? We've been here for 4 years, and it's very bittersweet to leave, but it's like the stress of, when am I going to apply to law school, grad school, finding a job, etc. So thank you so much for sharing that and, just motivating us as students, seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, but just, us keeping that in mind for sure. So thank you so much. Let's give Ms. Mo a warm welcome, a warm applause.
Thank you, y'all.
I hope you all enjoyed that little conversation. So as we close today's homecoming convocation, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our incredible keynote speaker, Ms. Mo Ivory, for sharing her wisdom, experience, and inspiring words with us. We're truly grateful for your presence today.
And we would also like to thank our dynamic student moderator, Destiny Blash.
Before we close, I'd also like to give a special thank you to Morgan Stanley for sponsoring this year's Homecoming Convocation and making this event possible. Lastly, I want to invite everyone to join us for the 2024 Homecoming Arts and Entertainment Summit happening right here on campus from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There will be exciting breakout sessions taking place across campus, so don't miss this opportunity to connect, learn, and engage from Spelman students, alumni, and alumni from Morehouse. For more details, please visit the official Spelman College page, the Office of Alumni Engagement Instagram page, or the Spelman Sports and Entertainment Collective's Instagram page. Thank you all for being here, and happy homecoming. Please stand so that we can sing our Spelman hymn together.